together we'll haul back the mystery that is time, and peer through the mist and take a closer look at the darkened valleys under a whirlpool sky, bathed by a cold blue sun, a place that is called Savageland.
Savageland is my favourite metal album, just generally. I love it so much, I'm about to gush about it for probably far too long. So let's start with some background. Savageland is a concept album, which if you're wondering, means it's an album that tells a story throughout all of its songs. Now let me get this clear, Savageland is not the best metal concept album. That's Queensrÿche's Operation Mindcrime. I feel as though I'd be killed stone dead if I didn't get that out of the way. However, Savageland is still the album I'd choose if you made me choose between the two. You're awful if you make me choose between those two albums, by the way. That's just fucking cruel. It's like making a man who's been lost in the desert for 10 days choose between food and water. But let's move on from that. What is Savageland actually about? Well, after doing a bit of digging, I actually found a little blurb telling the background story with some details that are omitted from actual lyrics. Let's give it a read, shall we? Savageland. Another time, another world. We're under a cold blue sun. The evil Duke Cron, half-brother of the murdered ruler of Savageland, seeks to deny the rightful heir Braveheart his destiny. Duke Cron cannot do this until he has found and extinguished the mythical dragon Moroth, who guards the Shield of Darkness, a force for good or evil to whomever possesses it. The Duke must keep Braveheart from finding the shield. He therefore sets out to destroy Braveheart and all men of good heart by using his dark legions of damned souls, all would have been put under the spell of the blue flame which the Duke keeps burning by the rare ore that is dug by the slave children in the underground mines. As events unfold, Eleanor, Braveheart's daughter, is accidentally killed by himself while trying to summon mystic forces against the Duke. Braveheart swears vengeance. The Duke must be stopped to save Savageland.
Sire, what is happening to our world? On horseback, buckled and gleaming for war, he eyed the old man, and with sorrow in his heart spoke.
The sun has set on Savageland. The sun has set.
So let's get this show on the road. The first song, Braveheart, immediately pulls you into the powerful intro that really gives you a great first impression of Ulrich's drumming, and reminds you how killer Morgan's riffs can be. Knight's voice is at his absolute best in this album, and this song is a perfect example of this. His nasally tone makes him sound like a wizened storyteller, introducing us to the legend and legacy of the mighty Prince Braveheart. I also must mention that naming your hero in Braveheart in 1996 is very original and unique. The next track, Savageland, keeps you as thrilled as Braveheart did as we learn of the land's beauty and peace now shattered by the Duke's treachery. The opening lines are probably my favourite XOL lyrics. The chorus in this is just so hype as well, it really gets me in the mood to fight for my ancient homeland. The next two songs feel much darker, following the Duke's evil plan to seize the crown and claim the throne of Savageland. Born for War is a much slower and heavier song that perfectly encapsulates how powerful a force Duke Cron's evil really is. There's even a little bit of German stuck in at the end. I asked my German friend to translate, and he said he couldn't figure it out, probably because Knight sings it so awkwardly that it's hard to make out what's even being said. If anyone's watching who knows German, I ask that you listen to the song yourself and let me know if you can figure out what it actually means. Thanks. Murder in Thy Name continues to tell the tale of Duke Cron's villainy, his deadly edict granting him the power of life and death over those he commands, damning the innocent souls of Savageland to do his bidding, where we see this in full in the next track, Children of the Underground. The song is quite different to the rest of the album. It's a lot calmer and sung by someone different. I'm going to assume this is Morgan since he's done background vocals for other bands in the past, but feel free to correct me. The song tells of the souls cursed by the Duke's power, the slave children mining for the rare ore to produce its magical blue flame. After telling of their plight and despair, Knight comes back in to sing a little bit in the song's heavier climax, switching to lead guitar before lowering back down to a calm acoustic for the rest of the track. This allows for a nice breather before the following track, the 7-minute epic that is Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair tells of Braveheart's quest to find, battle and eventually befriend Morroth, dragon of myth and legend. The ancient beast bestows unto him the power of the Shield of Darkness and foretells his coming triumph. Knight's voice shines once again in this track, staying consistently powerful, narrative of this part of the story. The lyrics tell incredibly well of Braveheart's struggle to reach Morroth's lair, and Morroth's eventual realisation that Braveheart would become to be the rightest lord of Savageland. This concludes the first half of the album, which focuses on building the world of Savageland and the characters of Braveheart and Duke Cron. Now that both are firmly established, it is time for the story to pick up some steam.
As the north wind howled and the thunder broke, Braveheart stands proudly before his troops, and thrusting his sword toward heaven, shouts at the darkening sky. Now it's time to die like a man.
Die Like a Man is the telling of the gathering and battle of Braveheart's good-hearted forces against the Duke's dark legions. The lyrics in the song really show how valiant and patriotic Braveheart's hordes truly are. They are a brotherhood, a kinship who will gladly give their lives to defend their land from Duke Cron's evil. The song is also another great example of Ulrich's drumming with the band. I like Stefan as well, don't get me wrong there, but Ulrich's just feels so eloquent and passionate you can feel it in the depths of your soul. But after every battle, there is the aftermath, and that is Field of Blackbirds. This is a very melancholic song, really showing how much of the battle shook all of Savageland. But we know this is not the end. The Duke is not dead, and neither is Braveheart. You know what's gotta go down next. If you were wondering, this is the song I was referring to when I mentioned a tough contender for my favourite X-Well track earlier. This is just perfect. It tells of the final showdown between the Duke and Braveheart, and everything about this song is just so fittingly hyped for this moment. There are some killer quotes in here, let me roll a couple. The whole song is super descriptive of the battle between these two mystical and clashing forces, and the instrumental just pounds into you and truly immerses you in the chaos of the epic battle. Knight also has an incredible tone here, it really shows how good his vocal range is. Eventually, the power that Morroth granted upon our hero comes to fruition as he gains the power of the Shield of Darkness, slashing through the Duke's heart, downing him once and for all. Braveheart emerges the victor, saviour of Savageland, slayer of the tyrant. But as the high-energy triumphant tone fades away, it transitions into the next track, which almost instantly kills the mood and makes you realise, oh shit, it's not over. Hunting the damned is the cleaning up of the mess that the Duke left behind. The good clean souls must do the devil's work and put all the damned souls out of their misery. Slaying the Duke hasn't freed the enchained slaves from his power, so they must take their weight upon themselves to find them all and seal their fates. The whole song is about the people trying to tell themselves it's alright. They're cursed, they're insane, it's better for them to be dead. But yet, they still carry all the guilt and shame, knowing that at the end of the day they're slaughtering poor innocent souls who got caught in an unfortunate circumstance, cursed by the Duke's power. The bass lines, downbeat guitar and Knight sounding especially deep and dirty here only add to the depraved, gloomy atmosphere. But once the evil has truly and thoroughly been cleansed, Savageland can finally be free once more. But at last, the damned souls are no more, the Duke just a memory, and Savageland can be free once more. Chaos End's, a very original and fitting name, is the rejoicing of Savageland's freedom. The sun rises once more, kissing Moroth as he is at last able to fly in the open sky once more. This is definitely the most upbeat song in the album. It excites me every time I get through the whole hour to get to the thrill of the happiness in Knight's voice and the brilliance of Morgan's solo in this one. I feel like I haven't mentioned solos enough in this video, but I have to say most of Morgan's solo across all three albums are spectacular. This, however, is easily my favourite. One of my favourite solos in all of the metal I've ever listened to. Let me just play it for you. You gotta hear this. The Duke is no more, the people of Savageland can finally begin their new life of peace. The beauty of the land is restored, and our hero is now crowned Braveheart, King of Savageland. I told you I'd gush about this album for far too long. It's just perfect. So perfect. You sat here and listened to me talk about it for this long, you may as well do yourself a favour and listen to one of the greatest power metal albums of all time. Definitely the best of the year as well. It's incredibly hard to pick standout tracks from this album, because they are all standout tracks, but if I had to single out a few, they'd be Braveheart, Dragon's Lair, Die Like a Man, Clash of the Titans and Chaos Ends. But now it feels unfair to the rest of the album because I love every song here so damn much. Frank Knight's voice is perfect, Ulrich's drumming is outstanding, Morgan's riffs never get old and his solo's only improved, and Becker's bassline is not to be missed at all, especially in Hunting the Damned. As for the album cover, it's pretty shit as well, but that's to be expected. It's definitely better than Monster Effect, and definitely So What, but it still has that crayon drawing feel. That's not to say I don't love it though. Same as so many other albums, I love it precisely for how bad it is. Plus it even gives us an insight on what Braveheart and the Duke actually look like, as well as Moroth. Albeit I don't know what the fuck either of them supposed to be. Is the Duke part of the ground? Is Braveheart a fish? Is those fins on his head? I'd love to see these two redrawn. Not to mention Moroth on the top, who just looks like a poor man's ass to us. But overall, it's definitely their best album cover. Just remember, this is all relative. But that does not dumb down the experience of the album at all. It is still incredible, and I recommend every single one of you to find an hour and just sit down and listen to it all. It's fucking perfect.